Prelude. This is an extract from a much longer poem which tells the story of how a boy kind of comes of age through his experience with nature. It starts off with the idea of him stealing a boat that he found. We might notice it is a summer evening. It's tied to a willow tree. It's in its home. It's a little boat. All of these might well establish an idea of this being calm and beautiful and a natural thing for him to do. He unlooses the chain, suggesting that what we're giving here is we're giving freedom to the boat. He's actually freeing her up, allowing her to do what she needs to do. It was an act of stealth, he says, and troubled pleasure. An oxymoron that kind of sums up pretty well what the boy is going through. The idea that he is gaining enjoyment from acts of trouble, of rebellion in here. As he goes on, he notices the beauty of the natural things around him. Small circles glittering idly in the moon. The one track of sparkling light. A lot of these very much the idea of beauty, but also of light. And that's how we see nature at this point. And he chooses to go with an unswerving line in the boat and fixing his view on the summit of a craggy ridge, the horizon's utmost boundary. So he's basically, his objective here appears to be to get to the limits of what he can see, to push himself to the limits at this point. All you can see above is stars and the grey sky. His rowing has also the beauty of the excitement of what's going on. Lustily he dips his oars into the silent lake. And as he rises on the stroke, his boat goes through the water like a swan. Now, if we then add in the idea of the silent lake, as well as the enthusiasm and excitement, we do have two images that suggest things going on under the surface. Swans look like they're being graceful, but underneath they're working incredibly hard, swimming away. The silent lake looks peaceful, but what is underneath? So at this point, we get what we might consider to be the turning point, the volta, when up comes a cliff that seems far more threatening to him than anything that he has seen before, certainly different from the beauty that he's seen before and mentioned before here. A huge peak, bleak and huge. What we see, the repetition here suggests when he sees this, his fear means he loses all language, all sense of language by the looks of things. That description that was so beautiful before, he's lost. And so instead, he tries to run away. Of course, it is personified as some kind of monster uprearing its head, towering up between him and the stars, striding after him like a living thing. So it appears to be some kind of monstrous thing trying to attack him. He turns around with the trembling oars and begins to come back, and the silent water reappears again, this time basically suggesting that there is something a little bit more challenging going on here, a little bit more, again, under the surface. And he replaces the boat. But what we have here, then at the end, is a very important conclusion. After I'd seen that spectacle for many days, He says, my brain worked with a dim and undetermined sense of unknown modes of being. The idea of a change in his thoughts, something that he can't quite grasp yet. He tries to express it. He calls it a darkness, solitude, blank desertion. It's a change from the happiness of life before into a sense of what I might call disquiet, being unsure and uncomfortable with what's happening. Very importantly, what has changed is his view of nature. There are no more pleasant images of trees, of sea or sky, no colours of green field, no familiar shapes. This is nature how he saw it before, but it's not there anymore. Instead, what we've got is huge and mighty forms, the word huge coming in again, that do not live like living men. They move slowly through the mind by day, and they're a trouble to his dreams. Through night and day, his mind, and it's very important that that is the case here, becomes obsessed with his newfound knowledge. Essentially, nature, he has discovered, is far more powerful than he ever thought it could be.